So good evening back. So there was some disturbance. Sorry for the inconvenience. And I was discussing after these health issues about the psychology of the comrades and how that psychology or that, so the whole atmosphere of the comrade helps or the makes or the compels you rather to finish the comrade. Then, so today's discussion was based on the techniques and the tactics of the comrade runs. I won't take much time, so within next say 5 to 10 minutes, I will just wind it up. But these are the certain important aspects. So one thing is related to the tactics. So tactics are related to, they are very specific to that particular person. And this is nothing but again the art. So it's not a science, but it is an art. And how to internalize that, it tells the level of your passions to finish that run. So just run down slopes, walk hills. So that is very, very important. So when in a down run, that field hills is very famous. It's around about 4 kilometers long. And if you run that race optimally, I mean, that's here, the slope, optimally, you can save at least around 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon your speed or the pace that time. And walking the hills does, it consume more time, but it gives the enough energy and then breath also, or that, you can rebound so while you're running flat or that undulated slopes. So walks to be used for the hydration, the nutrition. So just see that how many these water points are on that beginning at the hill or something like that. And accordingly, you notify that and then take that particular whatever you want to take from the aid station. And while walking only, you can consume, and then it can save the time both way. Then don't stop and wait at the aid station. That is very important. The tangles running, so route recce has to be done. So every long run, you should simulate. So you are starting with the Petersburg and coming to the this thing stadium. And by doing that recce and remembering those places which you are going to run after 3 months, definitely it helps. So might not be, we are not in South Africa, we are in India, but the names and that recce particular thing and the distance which you have to cover and at what time you are expected reaching at what station, all that is important. This Lindar bus has helped me a lot. So in the last, out of those 8 comrades, I have joined this Linda bus 6 times, down either or the up, and it has always helped me. So you can join such bus, and these buses usually always take all that, the tiredness, the fatigue from you, and always fill you with a lot of enthusiasm. So again, the energy audit and management has to be done. Technique for downhill run. So the posture is very important. So with short, quick strides, the knees has to be bent, as I told you, to manage that impact of earth loading or that various process and the forces. See, the running itself is a process where the 2 forces, one is called as a proportional, that is in a horizontal direction, in the stance and the swing that you generate because of a lot of muscles, and another is called as a vertical oscillation. So because you are running in that stance and swing phase, some point will come where your both the feet will be not touching the ground, they will be in the air. And so that time, that vertical oscillation, if it is a more, so that both feet being in the air for the leisure time, many times it reduces your what you can call as the cadence as well as the stride, and you might not be able to achieve the the desired result. And so in a downhill running, so that bending the knees, then I mean rather the position of the ankle, knee, and then hip, so that has to be synchronous, and it has to be balanced with your spine, neck, and shoulders. So that is, again, you have to use your core as a fulcrum, and using that core as the fulcrum, especially concentrating more on the hip joints, is very important. And for that, you need a very strong glutes, not only the quads and the hamstrings, because a lot of people believe that for the down run, the quads are only getting too much stress. Not like that. If your glutes are very strong, that half the pressure from the quads will be taken by them. And as I told you, after the first half, in the second half, these down slopes can be managed properly by this type of techniques. Leaning slightly forward is important. Using arms for balance, the stick, relax, and the confidence. Looking at other people in a straight direction is also important. The posture, so that as far as the head, shoulder, what type of the lean, hand swinging, and the joints of the again, this is related to the biokinetics. So you can, many of you might be aware about that. So, and then these are the various types of the runs. So not only the wrong runs, but the recovery runs are very important. Base runs are important. Progression run you have to manage. Fartlek is important. Hill repeats you have to do. Tempo run, and don't forget the intervals. So one day a week you have to keep reserve for the intervals. So interval it might be for the 30 minutes or the 40 minutes, but doing that half marathon pace intervals many times it helps. Then you one day you can do that 10-kilometer pace intervals also. And along with that, you have to keep in mind these principles of the running, that posture, core, arms, feet, and cadence. The training and practice, so you have to internalize a lot of things. And for that, I told you earlier that fitness pyramid technique is very important. Training basically improves your stamina, endurance, strength, along with flexibility. Practice does bring what we call as the accuracy, agility, balance, coordination, and these two together will give you the enough power and speed to finish the comrade, whatever the timing. So for me, 10:30. For my for the next 3 months, my plan is this way. I'll be every Saturday. I'll be taking the rest. The Sundays are going to be my long runs. In the month of the May, the longest run is going to be a Tata Ultra Marathon on 1550. But again, my long runs, you can see that started the 10, 15, 50, 25, 35. My Monday recovery runs are like this: 10, 10 after 55. I told you the 7 to 8 is more useful. Tuesdays are usually for the strength and conditioning. Then Wednesday again long runs. Then Thursday 2 days for the strength training, and then 4 days for the running and 1 day for the rest. Somebody might feel that this is too conservative, but believe me, this has helped me a lot. And even I consider this as my, not the 9th Comrades, but I consider this as my first Comrade, and I'm going to stick to this plan. In the month of the May, again, my maximum, this on the 12th June, I'll be running 56. That will be my maximum long run. And that week I'll be finishing 81 kilometers. Then this July, that 10th July is going to be the maximum run. That will be my third longest run, 65. I already planned on the 24th July, that is on the 13th week. But on this week, I had my Lake Placid Ironman. So I'm going to finish it on my long run on 10th July. And in this month, my strength training is concentrating more on the power training. And then here you can see the mileage. Here in the month of June, I'm concentrating more on muscle strengthening. Musculoskeletal fitness is very important. And last, that is August. So my last long run is going to be on 14th August, and that will be 21 kilometers. And then again, you can see here, I'll be maintaining that strength training, and then the rest is going to be there, and the 28th will be the down run combat. Then you have to know what you can call the technicality of the route. So for a driver, knowing the route is very important than anything else. Now, we all will be dealing with 11 hills. So one. So here we are dealing not only the 5 hills, big 5, because Africa is very famous for the big 5, especially in those big 5 animals. So likewise for the Comrades, we are having the big 5 hills, the Polyshots, starting from Pietersmaritzburg towards the Durban. Polyshorts, Inchanga, Botas Hill, Fields Hill, Covies Hill. The longest is Field Hill. But you run almost 4 kilometers down run over here. And then Little Polly's, Umlas Road, Harrison Flats, Camperdown, Elveston, and the 45th Cutting. These are again then 1 and 2 kilometer small hills, or the slopes rather, and that are useful. So you can use these slopes wisely, and you can save a lot of time and the energy. So route is like this, starts with the Polyshorts, Inchanga, Botas, Fields, Covies. I'm more interested in this because here, this will give the first down run. So it's almost 2 kilometers. During up run, this is considered the killing hill. And many of the comrades, if they are not able to finish, it is because of this, up run, during up run. But in down run, so this will give you the very good coverage or the mileage also. You can finish in shorter duration. Then this is Little Polly's, Umlas Road, the highest point. Then Camperdown, that is a small slope. The Cato Reach, and then Embetany. So all these places you should know. And then from now only you should be familiar with at least with these names. And then you can imagine the slopes and you can see a lot of videos and other things. From that you can get the feel of that. So these are the 24 stations which everybody at what time you'll be reaching that, and where are the cutoffs and other things. We should be aware about that, and accordingly you can write down your sub 10 or the sub 11 timings, and just these are the 24 or there are in total the 24. So start from the Pittsburgh, Polyshorts, Ashburton, Linfield. So that is the first cutoff. Then second cutoff at the Cato Reach. And these have been available on that Comrade website. You can, from that data only, have taken it. Then for me, the next 3 months are based, my training is based on this fitness parameter. The stamina, so as far as those training, as told you about that 15 days and 900 kilometers, in that I will develop stamina, and my training to the stamina will be related to volume, will be related 30% concentrated on the stamina, 25% for the endurance, strength training, and that thing will be the 20%, power will be the 15%, and speed only 10%. And this components of the fitness, the health related components are the 5, skill related components are 5. So in all these 10 skills I'll be developing during those 3 months training. Here I'll be paying attention to the movement economy. So for me, what is movement economy, or the economy of the movement, is nothing but avoiding unnecessarily energy expenditure. So when I'm taking one stride, so that time I'll see that I use less calories in that, but I will get the maximum. I won't get tired also. I will less, not only the less calories, but less oxygen also. I will sweat less also, and I will get tired less also. So economy of the moment is nothing but avoiding anything which is unnecessary. And for me, optimization of the economy is nothing but whatever is essential, sufficient to achieve the desired result, I'll be concentrating on that. So for the run, the basic unity of the run is the gait cycle. And in that gait cycle, stance and swing is very important. I've seen many of we runners, recreational runners, we are very good at the swing, but very bad at the stance. So the stance deals with the landing. And while that landing, so that initial stance, mid stance, and terminal stance, that is in a fraction of seconds. Because in 1 minute, our that cadence is many times you can say 90 or 100. So that goes on 180 steps, and then the 180 times landing or that stance in that what you can call as a gait cycle is going to be there. So that the stance phase is very, very important, and it happens in fractions of seconds. And so learning the basic anatomy and biochemistry of the physiology of the stance usually makes you aware about the movement economy. The swing is a 70%. And I was telling you, now we discussed that being your feet in the air for longer time in that one stride is important to improve your cadence and stride. And that again depends on your strength of your muscles. So here, what is very important, that loading response. So the loading response, so whatever the rebound you get from the work, if you are able to distribute it properly in all the joints of your body, that is called as a weight bearing. So the lower legs has a knee joint, then ankle joint and the hip joint. So how much weight you can bear, and with these muscles, especially the plantar uh, flexors and the extensors, quadriceps, hamstrings, and the glutes. So these are the three big groups of the muscles, and they are going to sustain your weight or that load rebound from the earth. And how to do that is very important. And the mistake done by many of us is what, we concentrate more on this, strengthening this, and neglect this part. So as far as the weight distribution is considered, so your body, that rebound, it almost 50% or the 60 should be taken by that, and then 40% should be taken by upper trunk, then shoulders, the neck, and the spine. And likewise, so you have to develop this, and that can be managed by the strength training. The strength and conditioning is related to posture, then muscle, then recruiting of the muscles, then stability, balance, power. And everybody has to learn screening themselves while running, because that will make you aware about the asymmetry, because many of us use one, especially the right leg, properly. Many of us might not be able to manage that hand movement properly, so then imbalance will be there. So there are a lot of limitations also. So we have to overcome the limitations, the manage the imbalance, then asymmetry, and then we became aware about our body structure. So many of us are working on the computer and in office sitting, then we do suffer from the upper cross syndrome of the lower cost syndrome. So you have to take care of that. And so you have to do the strengthening. So especially this, what we call as the core strengthening. And not only that, but hand standing, or that what we call the Sirshasan, head standing, especially for 3 to 5 minutes, does help. So in coming 3 months, if you concentrate on this type of the strength training exercises, it will be important. So you have to see that whatever the your overactive muscles, you have to stretch them, and whatever the underactive muscles, you have to strengthen them. So it's a wise combination of a stretching and strengthening of overactive and underactive muscles do give the sufficient strength. And at the same time, those antagonist and then progonist muscles you have to use properly. So this is another thing related to the recruitment of the muscles. You have to learn that also. So likewise, there are the many slides, and then I just want to finish with this slide. So this slide is related to the endurance. I told you the definition of the endurance: body's capacity to use the minimum oxygen for the maximum calorie output. Strength, for us, a strength of the joint is very important than anything else. So the muscles which are joining the joints and taking the care of the joints along with their cartilage or these ligaments or the tendons. So suppose my joint is able to move in a proper direction because of the contraction of the muscle, then I had a good strength. The strength is related, or strength is nothing but muscles capacity to use force in a desired manner to have a comfortable movement of the joint. And so if I do this, endurance is more related to my cardiac and the pulmonary thing. And when I do these two things together, automatically I will develop the muscular endurance, and which is much needed for the finishing combat. Then strength along with speed will give me the power. That's very important for running the hills. So power can be used running the hill, as well as power can be widely used running the slopes also. And then endurance and the speed taken together, anaerobic endurance. So somebody was asking me about what is the importance of the intervals in a combat training. They do matter, because these three, you can say this is again the type of a fitness pyramid. So at the base of the fitness pyramid, you take any base. You can take a base of the strength and endurance. You can take this base. You can take that base. They all are equally important. So you can't neglect this interval training. Interval training, there are a lot of benefits. The one and very important thing is that cortisol secretion, lactate threshold, then anaerobic endurance is required to improve your aerobic endurance. And I have shown you, so no doubt here you will need more carbs. And because of the carb depletion, the muscle triglyceride utilization by the certain fibers will be promoted. And so that is why this endurance training, along with this, all these factors, I'm talking about high intensity interval training, at least half an hour a week, is much more important. Then these are the certain issues related to the fitness and other things. So you guys might be aware about that. So I'll be sharing these slides with you, and thank you patiently listening to me. If you had any queries, so this is open for discussion. You want to ask any question, I'll be very happy to answer them.
Doctor?
Yes.
I am Punit here.
Yes, Punit.
Yeah, as you mentioned that you are doing a strength workout and the power workout. So what is the difference between that power and the muscle training? It's like what you do in power.
Yeah. So I'll just give the one example. You know this what we call as the frog jump.
Yeah,
frog jump.
Yes.
Or you might be doing the burpees.
Burpees, yeah. Okay.
So when you are doing the burpees, don't get off. Instead of you squat and ask your trainer or somebody to throw a basketball or any ball to you.
Okay.
Then catch that ball and throw back to him.
Okay.
Then again do the one burpee and go back. And then do these repetitions for 5 times. So this is related to the power training. So one type of the power training. This has helped me a lot, especially for the glute strengthening also. And with this, you won't suffer from any plantar problem also. Then flexibility of your, that dorsiflexion of your ankle joint will be very nice with this type of the things.
Okay.
So in a day, every day also 10 things you can do it. So in the house also or anywhere you can do it. So those burpees combined with the squatting and somebody throwing ball from a distance of say around about 10 feet at you, you catching that ball and sitting that in a squatting position and throwing it back to your this thing. So usually it takes around about you start counting 20 or the 10. So you can start with the 10 and go up to the 20. This is one thing. So this is for the power training. And the strength training, you might be knowing that you can use your body weight as well as so that knee curling, that the machines are available in that.
That we can do in gym. Whatever
so whatever you do in the gym, so that is much more related to the strength training.
Okay, great.
So and in the strength training, what I do that I use take that bar. And then that knee and that you do that weightlifting, no? Yeah. So that type of the say with that 20 kg ka bar. So on 10 kg on one side, another 10 kg on the other side, and do the 20 repetitions of that knee jerking. So just it will strengthen your all that take that care of the neck muscles and the rounded shoulders will go down. So everything.
True.
So, so for me, you got the strength is usually important for generating force by the muscle. And especially there are the two types of the muscle, antagonist and the progonist. So usually our progonist are very active and they are overactive many times. So, and then we have to do the stretching for that. And then antagonists are usually less active. So for that, you have to do the strengthening. So you can do the wise combination and it does help.
Right.
And so the definition, if you want to know of the power for me, so in physics, we call it the rate of doing the work. But for our this kinesiology or this type of the running or the technique, for me, power is nothing but doing maximum work in a minimum time using less calories. It's a quite
Okay.
difficult to manage, but
Okay.
and this power for me, this I'll just tell you. I was talking you about that my calorie expenditure in Deccan Cliffhanger.
Okay.
Similarly, last year I did that ultra spice race. That was 1200 kilometer. So from Goa to Madikeri. So via that Jog Falls, Shimoga, Chikmagalur, and it's like a comrade of cycling. Huh?
All right.
And you have to climb at least say around about 30 hills, small
Oh,
and this thing small or long. And along that, I use this power technique a lot. So
okay.
using the power technique in a cycling has helped me a lot. So the same
Okay.
thing to run the hills also, we can use the power technique.
And we can find such a this workout in YouTube.
Yeah, you get many of them.
Acha.
Especially with the Nori Williams and then Perry. So they have Coach Perry. They have this power exercises good.
Okay.
So you can
Fine.
use those videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
doctor.
thanks. Darshan,
Okay.
you want to ask
Sir,
any question?
yes, I want to ask,
Darshan,
sir.
yeah. Good evening, Darshan.
Good evening, sir. How are
Hey,
you?
so, yeah, I'm very fine. Very nice to hear you.
My question was like, I wanted to enhance my VO2 max. So the importance of VO2 max and how to enhance it.
I mentioned that VO2 max, that is nothing but the endurance. So improving VO2 max is again, it's an integrated approach. So the one
Okay.
is you have to combine those breathing techniques with muscle strengthening.
Right, sir.
So the breathing techniques are that how you breathe. So using only diaphragm won't help you. So you have to do that belly breathing. Then using
Okay.
accessory muscles of the breathing, especially
Mm.
intercostals of the chest or the upper trapezius, latissimus dorsi. There are a lot of muscles of the your cage and the chest cage. So many times that helps. So using these accessory muscles improve your this what you call as a this VO2 max, and that 2 in 1 it is called like that. So in one single breath you had two steps, one inhale and one exhale.
Okay.
So that also helps you to improve VO2 max.
Sir, any exercise like cycling will help on in enhancing it?
I think instead of cycling, it will be the swimming.
Okay, swimming.
So
Okay.
what we call underwater swimming, that I do in Shivaji Park swimming pool. So
Okay.
if you in 1 minute you are underwater and at least able to cover a distance around what 15 to 20 meter, so
Mm.
definitely your VO2 max will increase.
Okay. And what should be the ideal VO2 max?
VO2 max, it depends. So usually for we are not a initially I told not a professional one, but it
Mm.
can be say around about 56 or the 60. How
Oh,
much is
okay.
yours
Because
at present?
my generally is around 48 to 49.
Okay, so but again it might be because of the age. Darshan, you are almost 60 plus na, nowadays.
No, sir. I'm not 60.
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
55. I'm
55.
55.
55. So,
Yeah.
okay, so it is a possible because see, I have seen that VO2 max for a person is maximum at the age of 30. So
Right.
that is a maximum in anybody's life. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose my VO2 max at 30 is say 60. So then
Mm.
every decade it reduces by at least 2 to 4%.
Uh,
So now if you are at 25, so there is going to be reduction say around about 4 or 5%.
okay.
So just 60 ka 4-5% is usually comes 3 or 4 you
Right.
can say. So 60
Mm.
minus 3, 4, it comes around about 56, 57. So even though you are
Okay.
able to increase 8 that, but I'll tell you in a swimming pool, if you go to that Sayadri swimming pool also, wherever it is possible, and
Mm.
do that breathing techniques in the swimming, and that underwater breathing helps. It has helped me.
Okay.
Okay, so to
Because
improve it,
whenever, yeah, with the
yes.
interval trainings, it comes to 50, but when I leave intervals, it comes to normal 48.
Okay. So but then again, increase that interval training, no? So how much time you do
Okay.
that? 30 minutes or 45?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay. So, and the frequency is once a week or twice a week?
Once a week.
Once a week. So, but it's a fair enough. So, and believe me, so VO2 max, as far as, see, we are in a tropical country and in tropical area, and the climate of the Pune and everything. So, again, that, the ecosystem and the air AQI, air quality index, it does affect our VO2 max. And suppose we go to, and many times I've seen that because of that, our RBC count increases. Huh? Believe this.
Acha.
So
Okay.
your suppose your VO2 max is a less, your that
Hmm.
body is a wonderful machine. It tries to compensate that what
Okay.
homeostasis is maintained properly. So something is
Okay.
deficit, another thing will improve.
Right.
So I don't think you should more worried about improving this VO2 max. Instead, just try to find out your HB percent, and just to
Okay.
improve the HB percent, go with those beat shots. Have that lot of beat and other things. It will definitely improve your VO2 max.
Okay, sir. So much
Yeah,
nice. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much. Yeah.
thank you, Darshan.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, and
Sir, I have one question, sir.
yes, please.
My name is Dilip Gadge.
Yes.
So what is a muscle taping you mentioned? So we don't know
Yeah.
anything.
So muscle taping is usually, I won't suggest doing that muscle taping during practice runs. So it is not the thing which one should go for during practice runs. Suppose I'm doing this for 3 long runs as a practice, that 50, 56 or 65 or 60. So I never do the taping. But the taping can be used while when you are performing or on that race day. So this is one of the precautionary or the preventive measure which I was talking about, those various forces affecting the body during running. So I had one slide, so we'll just go briefly to that. See, these are the various, the taping and the run forces has very good relation. So the first run force is the propulsion. And usually hamstrings are very important for the propulsion, and it is horizontal and the stance and swing. Second is oscillation, it is vertical. The aerodynamic drag, then ground reaction force. So here, this ground reaction force, this taping does help you. Now, I told you that ground reaction, the vertical force, 2 to 3 times the body weight. And a horizontal reaction, that ground reaction, will be with long stride. If your stride is long, the reaction will be more. So just to minimize the impact of these forces, ground reaction forces, on the body, especially on the joints, you do the taping. That is one thing. So taping is usually, I do the taping usually related to my gluteus medius. My right gluteus medius, even today also it is a weak. And to because of that, the balance will go. Even though I do the lot of strengthening, that balance is not corrected. So to maintain that balance, the taping helps. But again, as I told you, so that has to be done on only on the race day. During practice, don't do that. You might have seen this Djokovic or Nadal while doing, or even PV Sindhu also, during their matches, they had some straps on in various directions along their muscles. Of course, it is with the origin and insertion of the muscle in that direction, and that usually takes care of the injury. And so you can sustain to be on the road for the longer time. So it's not like that taping will improve the timing. No, but the taping will help you to sustain this type of the damages, or that you can overcome some type of fatigue because of this, especially to manage. And for me, the taping has helped me to accelerate. See, because of the taping, I have developed a very good style of running the downhills. During field hills, my timing many times, that pace has gone up to sometime 5. So after running a 60 kilometer, you're running that slope of 4 kilometers at a speed of 5. It is something else, and that acceleration I do get because of that taping. So the taping is very important to the manage the impact of the various run forces on various joints, as well to stabilize certain muscles.
Is it okay to do it on the rest day, even before you are not expense rate?
Yeah. So suppose you're running at, see, it should be like this. See, I'm going to run 20th August. So I'll go visit that expo. I get that done from the expo guys only. There are two expert in that. And go usually at say around 12 noon or something like that, get it done. So even though you take a bath the next night before run, so that I mean that they won't get loosened. So the taping should be done usually say around about 12 to 16 or the 20 hours before the run.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was one more thing you mentioned, yes, that you should take care of the cramps not on the rest day, but just from the
Correct.
from the practice.
Correct.
So how to take care of the cramps in practice?
Yes. See, there is one slide. I'll be sharing these slides with you all.
Thank you.
See, I was talking about this. So one should know the sweat rate. So there are the various apps available on that Nori Williams website. Also, you will get the sweat rate. There are the various marathon websites. From that, you can calculate your sweat rate. So for average athlete in South Africa, per hour sweat rate is 1 liter. The range is from 0.4 to 1.8 liter. It's a very high range. So you can calculate accurately this range. So from that, the sodium loss in South Africa is from 1.1 to 2 gram. Then how much sodium you are losing, that also you can calculate with various apps and the various formula available on the website or online. Then sweat is usually 99% water and 1% electrolyte. And in that 1% electrolyte, important is the sodium. Now, if you take that 1 teaspoon of table salt, it has a 5 grams sodium chloride. And in that, you had a 2 gram sodium only. So we calculated during our discussion that minimum sodium loss will be per hour, say round about here 1 gram. So for those things that and the 10-hour it can be 10 gram. And likewise, you'll have to take salt intake. Then here, sodium intake. See, this has been mentioned here, 450 to 1120 milligram per liter from the whatever the sports drink. So I was talking about the Coke and other thing. They do have that sodium of sufficient quantity, or Energade, which is supplied by the organizers at that 42 this thing aid stations. So that Energade and then Pepsi. So you have to just decide the quantity, and then accordingly when you are practicing, you can have that. What I do is that after say round about when I have to do the long run, after 4 hours I start taking say round about 1 pinch of the salt. So usually when we are running the Tata Ultra Marathon, after 3 hours only they give you the salt is available. So you take that salt 1 pinch, so that will give say around about 1 pinch will be around about 2 grams, and you put on your tongue. Drink 1 small bottle of water, say 50 to 100 ml, and so that will take care of for the next 1 hour. So do that every hour. So care will be taken. So again, you have to calculate accurately. So whatever your requirement, depending on the sweat and the water, and all these things are available. So, and then with your own experience, you can learn.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, and it was delightful to interact with you all, and wish you all the best, and hope to see you during various practice runs. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. It was very useful conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.